Welcome to another edition of Great Health, Abundant Happiness, and Outrageous Love. Title of this video is How Will You Rate 2020 on a scale of 1 to 10? We had a call, one of our daily calls this past week, talking about this with our team. And there's a lot of people, we're seeing a lot, wow, you're close. We're seeing a lot of people, or hearing a lot of people talk about, oh, I can't wait to put 2020 in my rearview mirror. Can't wait to start over in the new year. Talking about all the negatives that happened in 2020. And the whole gist of our conversation was about all the great things that happened in 2020. And it's all a matter of focus. What we're saying is that, I got news for you, the things that people are complaining about probably won't go away on January 1 of 2021.
Right.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think we are forever a changed world, and we need to look at it as part of the, evolution of our society instead of a negative. I think there's so many ways that you can look at it. For example, our daughter and her fiance were scheduled to get married in December, and they canceled the wedding for obvious reasons. And, does that mean that that's a bad thing? No, it's something that happened, and it doesn't change their love. It doesn't change anything except for the fact that they will not be hosting a wedding on that day at that location in this year. But it doesn't change anything. And I always believe, I've told Jeffrey this, for so many years. He used to get frustrated with traffic is another, great tie-in to it. I always believe that everything happens just the way it's supposed to. So whatever it is that's happening in 2020 is happening the way that it's supposed to. And sometimes we are not able to see it in the eye of the storm, the good, the reason. And so people get focused on the negatives. And I don't want to make light of anyone that was, affected by what happened in 2020. We both had the virus as well, and Jeffrey's suffering some post-virus issues that we're still dealing with.
Yeah, we'll get through it. But to your point, there's always, there's always things you can point to. Bad. Some say there's no good and bad. It's how you look at it. But there's bad things that happen. Obviously, people have lost loved ones. People have lost jobs. Companies have gone out of business. I mean, those things don't sound like make for a great year. But there's a lot of things too you can point to that went very well. So we as individuals have to be grateful for what we have and be grateful for those loved ones that you have around you. Be grateful for the extra time you're able to spend with loved ones. Whatever it is, there's lots of things that you can choose to put on this gratitude list to go through, right?
And I love that word. We use it a lot in our daily conversations and in our videos. And every single thing, that we do while we're here on earth is a choice. So you're right. I mean, you have some post-COVID issues that we're working through. Do we want to focus all of our energy on, woe is me, I've got these issues now? Or do we want to focus on the fact that, we have this amazing day ahead of us, and we have had some great successes this year. And although the wedding's not happening, our daughter and her fiance are doing amazing. It's all a choice. And we get to choose where that energy that we have goes. And if you want to choose for it to go feeling sorry for yourself or feeling sad about something that happened, or perhaps you're out of work, and if you choose to feel sorry for yourself that you're out of work, instead of choosing to say, wow, this is an opportunity to do something that I've always wanted to do. It's a choice. And, why wouldn't you choose the happiness, factor instead of the feeling sorry for yourself or the low vibration?
Well, it's so simple, yet it's very, as I would say, easy to do, very easy not to do. Our greatest gift in this life is our freedom of choice. And when you get that opportunity to choose every given moment. We get to choose right now. We get to choose at this second. We get to choose in this second. We get to choose in this second. When I say choose, it's look right, look left. Sign on this deal. Think about this. What happened to you this way or that way? You have a choice to. You have the option to choose every given moment of every day. So you do get to choose. This whole thing, kicked off this discussion with our team. So we went to an event, virtual event, and a lot of people were awarded with success, and there were a lot of great success stories and things going on. And that's what kicked off the discussion. We were already there anyway, and we only highlight these things because we want people saying, hey, it's easy for you. You guys, you're there up in the mountains and it's a beautiful sunny day. But you saw our last video. If you saw our last video, we rolled one of our Jeeps at highway speed and demolished the whole thing, destroyed it.
It was totaled, and everything in it was ejected except for Jeffrey, myself, and Sugar Baby, who was not locked in. So we don't look at that as a negative. We choose to look at that as a miracle.
And that's just one of the things I'm just kind of rattling through. So we had insurance, great. We had COVID, we got through it. Okay,
we're still
fine.
Here.
We're learning, from this stuff. On the video I shared this. I got this melanoma on my lip for all these great days in the sun. Wear your sunblock and your lip block, right? Because I got to address that. So I got to get something carved out there. It's pretty scary when you look at that stuff. But at the end of the day, we've got doctors and things, and we'll get through it. You just got to look on the bright side. So it's not all roses all the time. We get it, but it's what you focus on it's important. That's the important part. I was out for a run first thing this morning. I had something in my ear, and someone was talking about, it doesn't matter what happens to you in this life. It's how you perceive what happens to you and what you do with it. That's important. I mean, those things are so simple, right? It's a simple concept.
It's so simple. And I love that because, good and bad, we talk about, that's all relative to our own thoughts. But things happen that, might not be what you intended to happen or expected to happen or even wanted or desired to happen. But it's how you incorporate it and live through it that matters. And two people given the same situation, will choose to do that very, very differently.
That's a great point. The example I gave on the call when you say two people, it was two regions of the country in a trying time that we had in business. This was years ago. And one organization, one group, were doing really well with business. The other one was doing really poorly. You got to talk to the people that are doing really poorly. It's the economy. The company's in a bad situation. We aren't competitive enough. You go to the group that's doing really well. They're focused on all the opportunities and just getting after the activity. So to your point, two people in the exact same environment, two groups of people even in the exact same environment with two different results. Yes. And I think it's all about, focus. And I think, the best advice we can give is to start your day from a position of gratitude. Go through a list in your mind if you have to before your feet touch the floor of what you're grateful for.
Right, because I want to say, during the moment that you're in gratitude, you cannot simultaneously be in a negative vibration during that moment. So by giving yourself the gift of being grateful, you are starting that moment in life, which is, every moment is the moment, right, that we're in, the present. So I love knowing that because, if you get to a point where all of a sudden you're starting to feel sorry for yourself or whatever it is, go to a position of gratitude because that will immediately, you're choosing instead to be gratuitous and be at a higher, more joyful vibration, which is where we all want to live. I mean, nobody wants to live in a position of, low vibration. Right?
You wouldn't think so, but lots of people choose to.
They choose to, right?
But why?
I know.
Is the question. That's the question for anybody out there. If you have some answers, could you please type it down below? Because this has been something I've been working on personally forever, not only in business and just relationships and people we know. Why is it that if you explain to somebody how easy this is to focus on this rather than this, and it changes your whole life? it's the law of attraction. Whatever you focus on, that's what you get in life, right? I mean, most people sit there and agree with that. And I'll share this with you too. If you talk to people that are very successful, I'm not talking about just business and wealth. I'm talking about relationships and just life and loving life. They get this concept and they say, you're absolutely correct.
Right.
Right. And the people that might have a hard time, they might say, well, that's BS, and that's kind of easy for you to say. But it's
they don't get it.
But it's a choice. Right. Right. And that's the dilemma. Right.
Right. One of my favorite stories is about John Lennon when he was younger, and he was asked by his teacher what he wanted to be when he grew up. And he said, I want to be happy. And she said, you don't get it.
Isn't that funny?
And he said, no, you don't get it.
Right.
And so we all have a choice of how we look at the world, and every single thing that is presented to us. My brother's calling me. He's returning my call because I called about his cat. His cat's not doing so well.
We'll have to check on that.
Yeah, if you want to maybe just turn the ringer off, and I'll give him a call.
Right, we're gonna wrap this up anyway.
Right after this.
But so we'd love to hear underneath if you guys are, if you have any thoughts here about this. How would you rate 2020? I can tell you right now, I think we haven't talked about this, but we would give it a very high rating. Lots of good came out of 2020. And yes, I can hear people out there, yes, there were a lot of challenges, I get it. We're not focusing on that. No. And when we rate 2020, we're gonna focus on all the good that comes out of it.
And how grateful, for Jeffrey and I, my gosh, we walked away from a serious, rolling a Jeep accident on a highway at high speed, hitting black ice. We had COVID, and if you've watched those videos, I was really, really down and out with COVID, and we walked away from that. Our daughter's wedding, we're changing that. That just gives us more time for excitement and all that. So I look at all of those things as, instead of saying, oh my gosh, I rolled my Jeep and it was totaled, I look at it as, I am so grateful that we walked away, and not only did Jeffrey and I, but our dog. And I'm so grateful for insurance. We had planned and prepared. And sometimes planning and preparing helps, but sometimes we don't plan and prepare. Certainly didn't plan and prepare for COVID and the aftermath of that. But guess what? Here we are, able to go out and take a hike, or take a drive, or be with each other and sit in front of a cozy fire, or have dinner together, or share a glass of wine. Be grateful for all of the things that you have. Wishing you great health, abundant happiness, and outrageous love from the nest at Copper Mountain.
Thanks, guys. And if you haven't subscribed already, please click off wherever that is. I know there's a little box down in the corner, but we'd love to have you on board and love to get your thoughts here. So please chime in.